things like people going on autopilot because there's just like these processes that they've like been ingrained with throughout their life, that they just like, they don't think about them, but certain things happen and then it's like that trigger and they get pulled into these like responses that they can't even explain until they kind of become more self-aware in that way. I think it's so important, and I think I think this type of stuff is gonna long-term do the most good work out there that like needs to be done, because people need to understand this stuff and they need to understand like getting those tools to help themselves in that sense.
Yeah.
So I've really been enjoying your stuff.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I think that you're completely right. You know, when you like autopilot, it's like we are all on autopilot. The government is on autopilot. This entire fucking planet is on autopilot.
We're explicit, so
okay.
Yeah.
Like our whole existence is on autopilot unless we make the decision for it not to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like really where it comes in. And people don't even realize, like even therapists are on autopilot, treating clients that are on autopilot. The intervention is autopilot. And it's like, and then the client is an actual human being with an ever-changing thought process and an ever-changing body. And what's the one thing that can sustain all of that? It's the fact that we're alive and we really want to have a reason for that. Like, that's the point of like existence, is to find the purpose and meaning for it, so that you don't want to die, so that you don't want to kill yourself, so that you don't want to drown yourself out and absorb the symptoms that you're experiencing for the entirety of your life. And so we have to learn this. It's like so important. And yeah, I mean, if we knew it, we wouldn't need therapists.
Yeah. And even just for myself, you know, I would consider myself extremely fortunate to have not gone through anything that I would even remotely consider trauma or anything of that nature in my youth. But as you in the unconscious podcast that you did, I think it was like your 6th episode, you were talking about how that puts me on autopilot to not be supportive in the proper way. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that while maybe I haven't been in the position where I need to figure these things out because I may need the help understanding myself, but as a resource and a community member and a person in other people's lives, I am on autopilot in the sense that I don't know how to properly respond to the people who need me there. And that's been honestly like the most unbelievable thing for me in listening to your content, is that I need to shake my own autopilot so that I can put myself in the right frame of mind to help somebody get out of their autopilot. And like, it's been quite the, like, even just, I mean, the last 3 hours of like kind of thinking through like this interview and like talking to you, I think that's been like the one thing that like is still on my mind.